I just fixed Blackwell Fields, one of the worst maps, debatably, in Battlefield 6. As you can see here, not only is it bigger, but I've also rearranged some parts of the map, added in some new things for some balancing, and made sure that players had an easier time on an actual big map and not something that was squeezed into a garlic press. Now, this is a joke, of course, but I'm just kind of proving the point here that this Portal mode, this SDK, it's easy to use, but at the same time, not. Portal mode right now, especially the SDK, it's a little iffy. Now, it seems as though that a lot of players, including myself, have gotten out of the honeymoon phase of Battlefield 6 and is now playing other games and realizing, wow, Battlefield 6 has a lot of fucking problems. Now, obviously, I could talk about the skins, I could talk about the maps, I could talk about the gameplay here and there, but I really want to talk about the Portal SDK and Portal mode. The reason for that is because all of the stuff that we have problems here can be solved by using the Portal mode. But there's a catch. Since Portal is really newish to EA, and since they've learned from their mistakes of 2042, thank God, there are some things within the SDK that are viable for us to make our own conquest maps, but the catch is that it is still very rudimentary, meaning that you can't change the terrain by itself. You also can't change the assets that are part of the map, but if you do want to, you have to delete all the assets on the map because they're unified together, which makes sense for space. But that's the issue, is that a lot of the stuff that you're seeing here, they've basically simplified parts of the map that people want to manipulate in order to make either the map better or change it to however they see fit. But since you're limiting it, you're not going to allow players to have an easier time making that map. And since Blackwell Fields is probably the greatest example of how to make a terrible map for Battlefield, I think allowing people to find a way to make it work within the community and allowing them tools to manipulate the map however they see fit in order to make it work will allow you as a studio to make it better, because the community all agree that maybe this particular map, if it's expanded upon, could be great. Someone by the name of Viper Studios Andy, shout out to them, they made a whole conquest template for us, the community, to use so that we can finally make our own conquest maps. Yes, you heard that right. This SDK doesn't allow a preset or a template of conquest, but they have templates for like the new or exciting game modes of like exfil or zombies or whatever we want to call it based from the studio themselves. But that just, it hurts my head that you don't have the main game modes as a preset template so that people can make their own experiences and have a good time with that. But instead you're telling them, hey, you want to make experiences? Learn how to code, which is fine by all means, but not everyone has the time to learn codes. Sometimes they just want to make a conquest map. This SDK isn't limiting, but at the same time, it's just kind of weird how it's like placed out. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's like a mixture of, okay, you want to make your own map? Nope, you can't do that, but you can make your own game mode. So I'm like, okay, wait, why can't we make our own maps? Oh, well, you need to elevate all the materials and textures upwards on the map in order to get the lighting and stuff that you want. Okay, sure, I guess. It's just really awkward. And the worst part is that I've tried to expand Blackwell Fields naturally, right? Because as you see on Godot's like little SDK, you can tell that the map here is obviously bigger than the map you normally play on, but there is so much more to the map that you see in the game than there is on the Godot little SDK. The mountain that I was on is not on the SDK, but it's in the game. So what's the point of having such an expansive ass map when you made it so small? Like, that bothers me. You're telling me that this map, all of this map, is expanded upon and we can walk around on and shit like that, yet you didn't want to put that into the SDK? Now, mind you, it would make sense that if they're trying to keep the size of the map small for the SDK, which I get it by all means, but at least make an option for us developers or map designers to download the entire map's design, mesh, and textures and whatever else so we can manipulate it for our own benefit. I guarantee a lot of people are willing to take that chance to make Blackwell Fields better than it already is. Now, of course, I wanted to find some answers to see if even Battlefield Studios wanted to do this in the first place, or if they'd done something before that they're going to do later down the line with the SDK. And again, shout out to Andy, who was on the same Discord that I was on trying to find answers. They basically told me that we are probably not going to get an expanded map for maybe quite a while. Now, mind you, I'm not mad at this, to be honest with you. It makes sense that it would take a while for them to actually make a map that size in Godot and then try to compress it so that people can manipulate it. But I mean, like, at that point, you're kind of thinking to yourself, why not just release the entire map so that people can just mess around with it? Isn't that the point of this portal mode is to make it into a sandbox? But it's not just the SDK that we're having a problem with. There is also another thing. That is the XP farms. Oh my goodness, why are there so many within this game? I don't know why people want to XP farm and kind of lose that whole entire purpose of progressing, because I feel like even though I understand the challenges are a bit difficult, I feel as though it kind of ruins the whole experience in its entirety to just kind of cheat your way to getting all the stuff that you want. Then you're not going to be able to have any progress for you to, you know, progress towards. That's the whole point. So that you can unlock the skins or unlock weapons and attachments, stuff like that. That's the whole point of playing the game, is so that you're able to unlock stuff further and have fun. And in my opinion, it just needs to be removed in its entirety. It really just needs to remove or add a filter or something for the XP farms. I'm sick and tired of trying to find, you know, experiences. And the only way I'm able to find those experiences is by going through Discord or on the Reddit or whatever else in order to find these experiences that people want to share. Like, for example, there's a third person mode. There's people making whole separate maps. There's a bunch of stuff that are happening, but at the same time, it's like all I see is just XP farms. Can we just make a whole separate tab for that if you're not going to be able to remove it? Just a question. But I'm just saying that there's a lot of things that just doesn't make sense as to why this SDK isn't already up to date with what 2042 already has for the SDK on its own. It's just kind of bothersome, you know? I just think that EA and Battlefield Studios should take their time, obviously, to make the SDK work. Obviously, it's going to take time, but I'm just surprised that there wasn't already implementations and understanding from their previous mistakes over to make Battlefield 6 Portal better overall. Because in my mind right now, I think Portal mode is really underutilized right now, and it's only because we're just seeing these XP farm bullshit tabs of like servers and stuff like that, and people abusing it to get, you know, max level or whatever else. Like, you're ruining the fun for yourselves, by the way. I feel as though anyone who uses these XP farm stuff is really ruining the experience for others, because there's so many of them on the fucking tab. You just need to be able to filter it out. At this point, you need to make a better filter system. So if it says XP farm or whatever else, it should be identified through the thing so that people can just check mark it off and not see it ever again. Still keep it there, because obviously people are going to make it. It's like inevitable for anyone with a community or a mod like server system. Obviously, someone was going to make it sooner or later, but just, you know, make a filter so that we can just shut it off, because I don't want to see that shit. It's like shoving it down my throat every time I try to go into the portal mode. I just want something else, having fun. But what are your guys' thoughts? And also, do you want me to actually make this map fully playable? Do you want me to just double the size of Blackwell Fields and add some things to see what it's like? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll be thinking about releasing this map to the public soon, see if you enjoy it, but I just want to see if anyone even would love to play Blackwell Fields if it was modded or changed for the better. Let me know in the comments down below. And I appreciate every single one of you who's watching right now. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Deuces, take care, everyone.